Hi, how are you, Mr. Hyduck?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So I would like to ask you a series of questions, and hopefully by the end, I don't want these questions to be just questions. I want to be the questions that anyone would listen to. A student, maybe someone who would like to know what happened on that fateful day.
Okay.
So, where were you in the morning of September 11th, 2001?
I was actually about 45 minutes north of New York City on a military base, West Point, the United States Military Academy. And I actually had just gotten off of work that morning. I took a split shift and was going to school at night, so I probably headed down to Dunkin' Donuts to get my morning coffee, and then eventually went back and got started on my work at home. Mm-hmm. So I was,
Just at home?
Just at home.
Normal day?
What seemed like a normal day. And going through, started flipping through the channels, and something kind of caught my eye. And I thought, oh, it's just a movie.
It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We don't know if it was a private aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now.
I remember, seeing this same image over and over again, and just finally stopped, changing through the channels, and just sat, and I was stunned. Roughly after 8:30, we were informed, as well as the rest of the United States, that there was an attack. The North Tower of the Twin Towers was hit. A little while later, the South Tower was hit. I remember thinking to myself, man, this is no good. I need to go ahead and get my brothers. I need to get my nan, because we lived on a military base. I figured the best place to be for any type of protection was to go ahead and be on that base.
And did you know anyone specifically working on those towers?
My Aunt Kim, her brother Henry, was on the 67th floor of the North Tower. Fortunately, he was able to escape. He actually helped a few of the folks from his office out of the building as well. My uncle, he worked in Lower Manhattan as well. He was on the last train to kind of stop right before the tunnel beneath the towers. They evacuated the train. I found that out. It was probably about 11 o'clock that night when we were actually finally able to get in touch with him. I got several friends that are NYPD, FDNY. Some of them sadly didn't make it.
How did your personal life change?
I think the biggest changes were just kind of being mindful, being very, very cognizant about my surroundings. One of the big things that working as a civilian for the Department of the Army, one of the big things is operational security. And immediately after the attacks, normally where you would see 1 to 2 MPs on a gate entering the base, you would see now a minimum of like 6 and these guys were, in full gear, full battle rattle, their sidearm pistols, the full M16s, locked, loaded. I mean, you just had to take that extra security. Like, I know myself, I kind of, just almost became numb, because it was a huge part of the city, a part of New York. I mean, I even remembered, I would think back to when I was younger, and my uncle, he took me up on the observation deck of the North Tower. Mm-hmm. And, just being able to see forever, it was incredible. And, I mean, I think to this day, my kids, they'll never experience that. Mm. It's surreal. It really is.
How do you feel on this 9/11 today?
Sad. I feel hurt, because I mean, I've lost quite a few friends due to the events. I feel thankful that my family members made it, and fortunate that they made it while so many others sadly didn't. I mean, I know that a lot of folks say never forget, but I'm hoping for not so much of a forgetting, but for an easing of the emotions that come along with remembering. I mean, I visited the footprints, and it just it brought back the same sense of sadness, and I'm sure it does something for everybody, something different for everybody. But I mean, I know I still feel the sadness and loss of my friends. It just it's not necessarily a day that I'd like to remember, but it is truly a day that will live on in infamy.